I want to introduce Mr. Peter, Marcel, and Giovanni from BHMS, Business and Hospitality Management School in Lausanne, in Schweiz. So the people, they're going to talk about a little bit about the business way through hospitality. So I'm going to leave to Mr. Marcel. And yeah, so feel free to talk whenever, and I'll jump in if I have any questions. But yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Kwang. I will actually do the very brief introduction. Hello, everyone who's listening, and I would like to start with saying thanks for coming. It's the first presentation of the day. I hope it's going to be your favorite one. We would love you to spend these 20 minutes listening to a topic which is very, very specific. It's going to be about a specific customer behavior. I will not disclose the topic. Mr. Marcel will introduce it to you directly, but I would like to say that if you have any questions, both the presentation, but also about BHMS in Switzerland, please type those questions in the chat, and we'll be more than happy to answer them towards the end. StudyIn is also our partner in Sweden, so whenever you feel and have a question, they also always are available to answer your questions. So BHMS, we are based in Switzerland, and there is a topic on e-commerce which our senior lecturer, Mr. Marcel Ensler, would just like to talk into. Marcel, would you like to take over?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Peter. Yeah, I have prepared a little quick presentation for you about one of the topics that we're teaching at this school. It's a small e-commerce exposure talking about, yeah, obviously e-commerce. First of all, question, maybe some of you guys have already been dealing with e-commerce, but it's absolutely worth to get into this topic. What am I going to quickly talk about? Introduction about, is it worth it, general, to get into e-commerce? Then the actual topic I want to quickly talk about, advantages of e-commerce, specifically something called trackability. And then if you have some question, we have a quick look at the question and answer session. Right. Is it really important to know about e-commerce in this environment, studying everything? And generally, I would say absolutely, because it's a growing industry. Every single company that you're dealing with right now, every single time you're having a phone in your hand, you're actually dealing with those environments. And it's also a very, very fast growing environment, like you just see here on this slide. I could just share the screen with you, maybe that helps. Okay, as you can also see on this slide, retail e-commerce reached about $3.5 trillion in 2019, last year. And this was 24.8% more than the year before. And even now, especially with this whole COVID environment, with the current situation, these numbers are skyrocketing, absolutely. We are expecting at the moment that about 14% of all trade will be happening via those platforms. So you're going to have trading via Facebook, for example. You're going to have trading via online shops. You're going to have trading via online banking on all of this. And we expect that 14% of absolutely everything that happens will happen via e-commerce. So honestly, if a company does decide not to move into this environment, then it's absolutely at their loss. So really, we're not only talking about retail like Amazon and the things like this, but also industrial and B2B in general. Okay, so we're also dealing about oil trading and coal trading and all of those things. Why do people like to be in e-commerce? Of course, for us as consumers, there's amazing advantages to that. Okay, point one, for example, we don't have to queue, we don't have to wait in line. The shops are open 24/7, so it's constantly available. We don't have to wait until the shop is opening. We can book from absolutely anywhere. You can book at 11 o'clock in the evening from the comfort of your bed if you want to. E-commerce also offers, because it's a global community, it offers us this possibility of having any product available. If you want to, you can order a borscht from Russia and then prep it at home in Sweden, for example. And this is just some of the advantages that we have in here. Of course, with e-commerce, there comes this big tool that we all are constantly using, like the review environments. So and this really helps a lot, because in e-commerce, if you're going, for example, to an Amazon environment, you're not really purchasing the product itself, but what you're looking at, what you're dealing with is a picture of a product, or maybe even a video of a product. So in order to solidify this product in front of us, we really need those reviews, the reviews of people just like us who have been dealing with this product before, who can give us advice about this environment. And also we love e-commerce because it basically shows us things that we want to see where we are. So whether I'm going to the H&M website or to the Amazon website, every single time these websites will show me exactly the environment that I visited the previous time. Okay, so for us as consumers, this is very, very convenient. Why all of this happens, how it happens exactly, these are things, of course, that we will be looking at in a course like our e-commerce course, for example. But of course, this environment does not only offer advantages to the consumers, it also offers advantages to the business owners. And this is really what we're talking about here, because us as future business people, we want to take advantage of those. Now, there is numerous advantages, how we can play with this, how we can take advantage, how we can run our financials even better with this environment. But I just wanted to, we don't have much time, I just wanted to quickly talk about one very, very specific thing. And that is the example of consumer tracking. Okay, so whenever a consumer comes into a website, we can follow that person exactly on the dot and know exactly what they're doing. And yeah, traditional communication, traditional commerce, like offline commerce, does not really allow for trackability. For example, consider a very, very simplified purchase behavior, like what we have down here. A person sees an advertisement, they talk to friends and family, they consider purchase, and then they might go into the shop and look for information, ask for information. So I have quickly outlined this environment, how we might actually go clothes shopping, for example. So consider an offline shop. You're walking through town on a Saturday morning with your colleagues, with your friends, and here you come, and suddenly in the window you see like a mannequin wearing some clothes that you like. And basically what happens, this piques our interest. Okay, so here we already have like the first, what we call a touch point. You go on, you decide, okay, let's go and have a look. You walk in, you do a first few steps, and then you look around. And sometimes it happens to us that when we're standing at the entrance of the shop, either we like something or we don't like something. If we don't like it, then we just turn around and yeah, we go on. So basically here we have what we call the second touch point in this environment. What happens next? If you do like the environment, we go looking around. Okay, and maybe some of you recognize this walking scheme here that we have here. So we go, we look around, we pick out some clothes, we look at them, and until finally we find something that we actually like. Okay, so again, we find something to like, we pick it up. Maybe we decide to put it on. So we go in the changing room. Okay, maybe we like the clothing, but maybe it's just the wrong size for us. Okay, so what we do, we go over to the lady at the counter, or to the gent at the counter, and here we have another touch point. Maybe they can help us, maybe they can solve our problem, maybe we find another product or the same product in our size, so we might actually go and purchase this item. So you are basically walking through all of those little squiggly lines over here. This might be a standard visit to a shop, an offline shop. Now, the owner, and then of course, sorry, let me just finish this drawing, and then we go on and another Saturday afternoon at the shopping. Okay, so this might be our shopping experience in one individual shop. Now, the owner of this shop, they have a problem. Okay, they have no clue what is happening. And this is the reality of it. Like I've working in some environments like this as well, or I'm advising people like this as well. They have no clue how many people that this mannequin or mannequins that we have here on the screen, how many people that this environment activates, because we're talking in activation term in this environment. So we don't know that out of 100 people, 90 people walking. We don't know whether out of 100 people, 4 people walking. We have absolutely no idea about this. Second step as well, this little thing over here. Also here, we have no clue how many people decide to look around or not. We have no idea how many people actually pick something up, and we have no clue on average how many people actually try something out. And we have also no clue how many people ask for assistance, whether they receive the assistance, whether they're satisfied with the assistance. We don't know anything of that. Okay, and this is a big problem, okay? Because what we have here, let me just go quickly back, is something that we call a black box. Okay, maybe you already heard of a stimulus response model. Academic terms, we want to stay away from them for today. But what we do know at the end of the day is we know how much money we push into the environment. So how much money we spend on dressing up the mannequin, maintaining the shop, advertisement in general. And we do know how much money comes out at the end of the day. And everything else in between is a black box. We cannot really look into it. So, and we will not know in detail why we lost the people. We don't know how we lost the people. And unfortunately, also, we don't know when we lost the people. So in an offline environment, we have no clue what we have to do to improve in the future. Yes, of course, we have some hints every once in a while, but overall, no. Okay. Now, fast forward to our e-commerce environment. In an e-commerce environment, we don't have the problem of a black box, okay? Because every user interaction is governed by clicks. They see something, they click on it. Or maybe even an advertisement on your Instagram and Facebook. Maybe you watch the advert movie to the end. So this is also acting a little bit like a click. So all of those things, they go into statistics, they get controlled. So we have 100% control over it. And because we have 100% control over it, and because we see those numbers, we know exactly what we have to do to improve our services. And then we get something like this here, okay? So we know exactly that out of 100% of all the people that see the advertisement, we know how many people actually click on the advertisement. Out of the people that click on the advertisement, how many people then scroll across the landing page, how many out of those people again visit the product, and how many out of those at the end of the day buy the product. And because we know all of this, we can start streamlining the environment. We can start creating our environment more efficient. So all of a sudden you see updates to websites. Okay, for example, like those ones here. Like, I guess you're just like me, you have already spent time on Amazon, and those for you and also for me seem like very, very regular environments. Like we have here, for example, the review environment. We have the Prime Now, which is basically the fast delivery. This is just for the US Prime Now. We have the buy now with one-click environment that Amazon is offering. And we have that little thing down here called customers who bought this item also bought. Okay, those are 4 things that Amazon didn't start with them. Amazon added them to their service because, well, yeah, because they analyzed this stuff over here. Okay, and they realized, for example, that people are looking at products and they appreciate the value that they get out of it, but they're not sure if they really should be buying this stuff via Amazon. Is it really solving my problem? Okay, so Amazon started adding the review section. A lot of people actually put things into their basket, went down to the checkout environment, and all of a sudden this picture shows up and tells you how long it's going to take until you finally get to have your items in your hands. And then they quit because they realize, look, I'm sorry, but I don't want to wait 2 weeks until finally this product is arriving with me. Okay, so Amazon started adding those environments. Like in the US, in certain cities, all of a sudden we have Prime Now, skip the trip, 1 hour delivery, and so on and so forth. Amazon realized that people do not want to enter their address details into the environment. So they said, okay, now you can also buy with one click. You don't need to give us those details anymore. And last but not least, another example is, of course, there's many, many more. Amazon realized that people are looking at a product, but then change their mind and don't go there and go somewhere else. And because they like the product, but they want something a little bit different. So what they added in here is customers who bought this, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, it should say, well, if you don't like this item, we have something else as well, because that's actually what it is. Okay, so we can see that through this trackability, through this understanding of trackability with statistics, with a little bit of consumer research, of pinpointing, of finding out problems, we can suddenly start improving our websites. Okay, and well, yeah, that is absolutely it. So this was just one very, very tiny little thing that we do in e-commerce. Like I said, we don't have much time to talk about much else. I just wanted to bring this environment here closer to you. And I hope that if you have any questions, you write something in the text, and me and my colleagues, we can solve it for you.
Thank you, Mr. Hansler. Thank you very much. Thank you for the short, but I think very interesting lessons, or at least we give you an appetizer, what actually we are teaching at BHMS. We are under a capella, we call it Hospitality Management Business School. So primarily, what also Professor Hansler is told about e-commerce, trackability, which actually is very scary. I'm very scared about that when everybody knows where you are, what you're doing, how much you're spending, how much you have left in your bank account, you know, and how much money you will spend for the next time when you see a special auction online and so on. It was very interesting, but I say it again, very scary. So Mr. Hansler is leaving very soon because he has to prepare for lessons for tomorrow morning with his class, MBA class, I do believe. So if you do have any questions, we would love that you come in now and ask Mr. Hansler about it. So we'll be more than happy to give you some answer. But just quickly going back, the teaching methodology that we are using, we do teach lots of business. So even in the hospitality, and I do believe a lot of parents misunderstand what learning or study hospitality, they have a totally wrong image to see the son or the daughter to become a waiter or chef de service one day in a restaurant. No, no, no. Please don't think like this. We are preparing a pure entrepreneur, a businesswoman and a businessman. And a hotel, it's a business. It's equally a business like an insurance company, like a marketing company, like a banking sector. All these belong to the service sector industry. And that's where we're helping. And my colleague, Mr. Peter, will go more into details because Mr. Peter worked very closely with Study In. It will discuss about more things if you will have taken time later on to go one by one and go into a questioning about the school, when do we start, how much it costs, and so on. So just to ending, I would like to thank you again, Mr. Hansler, and I repeat again, please, any student who is online, or anybody's online, if they do have any question to him, do it now because he may have to leave us in the next 2-3 minutes. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Giovanni. Indeed, we're just on time, actually. We should be finishing by now. And nevertheless, thank you, Mr. Hansler, for a lovely presentation. I would like just to connect and show that nowadays we all started to buy also because the current situation online, and understanding how people are buying and purchasing, that's becoming an asset of literally every manager. We're creating this, we call it a roundup experience for students, you know, every single year at the BHMS. You're actually studying for 6 months and you're working for 6 months on an internship, which we provide as a school for you as a student. So we are really preparing the future managers in the sense that we know what the industry needs. Mr. Ensler himself has worked for many years in the industry before joining us. This means that the lecturers are really professionals in their fields, what they do, and can go very much in depth and speak about particular experiences. This said, we as a school are preparing the managers in a manner that we're offering bachelor, master degrees. We have 8 intakes in a year. You can join our school 8 times in a year. And I would like to finish up that we do actually have a limited number of special financial aid schemes for students coming from Sweden. And there's no more time to go in depth on that. Nevertheless, I would just love to speak a bit more about it with you directly, speak to you by Skype, or eventually directly with Mr. Kwang through StudyN. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I don't know, Kwang, is there any room to have some Q&A session on the end?
Well, we have a couple of more minutes. The next lecture is going to be at 5:30. So if anybody has any questions, you feel free to ask them. And yes, just like Peter and Marcel and Giovanni, this is just a taster how it is to study at BHMS. If you have any more questions, we have your details, and we're going to email you shortly afterwards just to follow up if you have any more questions. Okay?
Unfortunately, we could not take longer time, but I think it's just to give a short idea what we are teaching.
Yes.
That is not only to deal with practicality. Practicality is also very important, but to have an idea to understand how the business world works today. And this is very important that our audience, the student understanding. Today, with online system, with online business, you fill in your hotel with online, with the booking.com, with all these companies which belong to the Expedia, with under the umbrella, they have about 75 companies. So they're taking over 75% of the businesses, and the rest 20% is left to the Chinese, with ctrip.com, for example, which CN, which is based in Beijing. I've been visiting the office many times, also there when I'm traveling to Asia. So this is really a unique opportunity to Switzerland, not because we are a beautiful country, small little country. Sweden is even nicer than Switzerland. You know, you have the sea around. We don't have it. We have only lakes and rivers, but we have high mountains, which is a very beautiful. But the quality of the teaching, what Mr. Peters just said it before, you're learning from our professors and teachers. They're guiding you exactly how to become an entrepreneur. And at the same time, simultaneously, what are we doing? We're offering you a job. And the job is a guarantee. So we are taking care that you find the job which fits for you. Because of the language, you like more French, you like more German, you like more Italian. Because as you know, Switzerland is a 3-spoken language country. And you also get paid. And as a beginner in Switzerland, you get a 2,212 Swiss francs, plus a 13 salary participation, which comes 2,390 Swiss francs. In US dollar today is about $2,635 per month. In euro, which is our currency in Europe, is a 2,205 euro. This is the minimum guaranteed salary for a beginner working within a hotel industry or a catering business or a restaurant business within Switzerland. That's how it is.
Yeah, can I add with 1 minute, one chat to it? Yeah, finances, it's always and rightfully the first question students ask when it comes to Switzerland. I just want to follow up what Giovanni said. With the good salary in Switzerland, which obviously reflects the cost in Switzerland, comes also the structure, how we charge the fees. You know, considering BHMS in Switzerland, we ourselves, we are operating our own hotel, our own restaurants. So actually you're receiving a full package for the tuition that includes literally everything, you can put it this way. It includes accommodation of the students. It has the insurance, the food, the excursions for the students. So it's one payment really for a whole year, always all inclusive, and you're only able to have an income, as I said, and Joanne repeated, 6 months study and 6 months of work. And this is a full-time employment where the students are also having the full-time responsibilities, but also having the benefits as like a salary that comes with it. So in terms of finances, we can look into it. StudyN is our partner again, who also has a very good knowledge about the Swedish governmental loan system. and we are being recognized as the institution with your government, thus also eligible for students to apply for these loans in case of needed, in combination with the fact you're able to earn, and also with the fact that we are offering a small levy, a small financial aid scheme. It might be very interesting actually to have a discussion whether you want to go to UK or to Switzerland. You might be very surprised about that. But just this, the financial aspect, because that's one of the very common questions, unless it already popped up in the chat.
Sure. And Peter, allow me to say one more thing, the last one. If you want to take care of this trip with us together, coming to BHMS in Switzerland, besides studying and working with the great opportunity to gain a lot of experience with those superb teachers and professors and so on, at the end, before you getting your degree, you will get a dual degree, a British one and a Swiss one. So don't forget you get 2 degrees, not only one. You will also get the possibility that we find your first career placement. So majority of university, I would say 98% in the whole world, there's no one at the end, when you're spending a lot of money, they'll tell you, hey boy, hey girl, come over here, I have a job for you. Got it? No way. Here at BHMS, we have an office entirely taking care from the first day to the last day to make sure that you're getting a contract in your pocket before you live in Switzerland. How does it work? If you have 1-year program, then after 2 weeks, you're arriving in Switzerland, you will have 2 meetings. The first one for your Swiss internship, and 1 or 2, 3 hours later, you will have again another meeting with the international job placement. So we do have 11.5 months time to find 1, 2, or 3 interview with a company which you would like to work with it. Our ratio, 45% of our students going to the States to work, or Canada or Australia. 30% remain in Europe and UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, which is the top when it comes to hospitality business. And the other 25%, which our European students love to go resort islands down in Africa, or either going to Asia. Because Asia, when it comes to hospitality management, at the top of the world together with the United Arab Emirates. That's what it is. I just want to round it and explain to you again, together with my colleague Peter, the package that we offer is really unique for any students in the world, not only Scandinavian, but coming from any part of the world. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Giovanni, and the team of BHMS, Peter and Marcel.